Okay, last two speeches of the day. So I tried to keep it simple and alive. So, first of all, thank you, Christophe, for giving me the opportunity to have this update on the working group. I'm Frédéric Bellech. I work at DAWES. I'm VP Technology and Research. But most of all, I'm speaking here on behalf of the Data Exchange Services Working Group. I'm leading the work of this working group with the help of Thierry Moineau, which cannot be here, but it would be great to share the stage with him today. So what I want to do today is two things. First of all, have a look at what we've done in the current release, because it's been published a couple of months, only ago, of the Data Exchange Working Group services, and have a look at the roadmap, what we have in mind from the next release and what we've been actually working on since a couple of months. So, let's start with the current release, 2507. This is, we like to do a lot of work, but we don't like to break things. So this release is a non-breaking release, and this is an update to the specification for the Data Exchange services. There are basically 5 main changes inside this document. The first one is actually a continuous effort, which is to align with what's going on in the various standardization efforts. There's the Sensenelec workshop on trusted data foundation and what's been done at the Joint Technical Committee 25 on data management, data spaces. That's where it's done for what is dealing with data exchange. And this is an ongoing work, because the work at the standardization level is not yet finished. A lot of people are working on that, including GAIA-X, DAWES, and many people around here. There are parts of the standards that have been published, and we are taking these outcomes and align the document with the outcomes from this ongoing standard, and we work on the next part. Part 1 is done, part 2 part 1 is basically about all the various definitions. What is a data space, what is a data consumer, so on and so forth, and what is the general scope of a trusted data transaction, and what are the steps. So that was a big work, and it's done, and it's included inside the GAIA-X specification. The next part will be about the requirements, the technical and non-technical requirements for defining what is a trusted data transaction. This is an ongoing work. It's almost done. Juditha is in here. Let's say it's done. Almost. Just a couple of things to align, hopefully, and it's going to be done. And when it's going to be done, we're going to update one more what's inside the document. And part 3 will be about interoperability. It's just starting, so nothing yet is included inside the document. So there was one part of the update of this document. The second one was, this document deals with all the services linked to data exchange. There's the transaction itself, but there are other things connected to data exchange, and there's this big thing that is the data product catalog, and the other part which is data access logging. So in this release, we extended the chapter on these two topics, but it's the first round because it was very slim. So we updated to be, well, a little more detailed, and yet again to be aligned with the concept and the outcomes from trusted data transaction. We will see later on that this will be the focus of the next release to come. Next, there was an update to the data product conceptual model. We'll see in a couple of minutes what's going on here. Not too much, it's not a breaking point. And the most important part within this data product conceptual model is the introduction. Actually, it's not the introduction, it's the formalization and the extension and the definition of the data usage agreement process. The notion of data usage agreement was there already, but it was only defined as one of the, let's say, parts of the conceptual model. Now it's fully defined. And then there was an update on the GAIX ontology to have a single source of truth, because there were many parts within the various documents of GAIX where those ontologies were defined, so we decided to gather in a coherent way. So that we'll go through these points. So I won't go into all the details, but that's basically the conceptual model. First of all, make sure that we align with what's going on with the architecture document and the ICAM working group. This is something that is very important, because the more we work on data exchange, the more we see that it's connected to everything inside GAIX. It's not only data exchange, it's strongly connected to, of course, the overall architecture of GAIX. It's connected to the compliant document, and it's connected to identity. And the more we go, the more the connection will be strong, and that will be probably the conclusion of this talk. And then, well, for people familiar with the work, you won't see a lot of difference between this model and the last one. A couple of things, a terminology which is basically alignment with trusted data protection, but actually there is this part over there, which is linked to the data usage agreement, which was already inside the documents, but it was just, let's say, some kind of placeholder, something that was defined, but not specified in a very detailed way. And that's basically, let's say, 70% of the work that we've done so far, well, in this release of the document. So what is a data usage agreement? To keep it simple, a data usage agreement is something that enables data rights holder to control by whom, how, and where the data is used. If I go back to the model, you've got here, right there, the data rights holder is at the beginning of the chain. That's the one who gives right to the data producer to publish data product on a catalog to be discovered by a data provider that we connect both of them into a data access contract to get access and to use the data. Okay, that's the basic process. But we have to find a way to actually give power back to the data rights holder so we can manage what can be done with the data. And that's exactly the purpose of the data usage agreement. It seems trivial, but it requires a lot of work because you have to find a proper way to actually do the work, to define well, to define the data usage agreement, to see if it's active, to see if it's still valid, to link it to the data product, to find a way to notarize things. So there was a lot of work involved. The idea is to give the data consumer the formal authorization to use the data in accordance to the constraint that is specified by the data rights holder. It seems basic. It's actually on par with a lot of European regulation. It was time to actually define properly. So I won't go into the details on how it's fully defined. You can go and read this marvelous document, but it's fully specified. This is just one part of it, which is describing what's included inside the DUA, but all the structure which is there, all the life cycle and all the primitives to use and to create this DUA, to check the validity, to notarize the validity of it, the DUA, sorry, is fully described inside the document. So it just, with quotes in between, just a way to formalize this DUA within the context of GAIX. It took us about 1 year. So I won't go into the detail. I see Pietro here because he's the lead of the ICAM working group. And we worked with him because we need a lot of inputs from the one inside GAIX which are dealing with identities. And I will go again like this because this is one of the main messages that I want to provide today. So I won't go any further on that. If you want to have all the gory details on DUA, please ask or read the document. Next, this is probably not easy to read. It wasn't meant to be easy to read. It's about the ontologies. Like I said, in the previous version of the document, all the ontology were defined inside the document, and there were some discrepancy between what was inside the document and what the actual ontology were inside the service characteristic working group, where it's more appropriate to have those. So there's been a lot of work to take out the specification, including the one from the DUA, and to write down all these ontologies, and that was the work of Thierry Moineau and Frédéric Augel. That is not my work, it's a collective work. So thank you for them for the good work. And it's now included inside the ontology, and there is a class separation, and there is a single point of truth, which is always good when you want to work on something. So all the ontologies for data services are connected there. Well, you can more or less see that. There is the data catalog, the data product, the data transfer, the data usage agreement, the notion of data consumer, and so on and so forth. So all the ontology related to data exchange are now inside the collective GAIA-X ontology. Good. And it's updated, and it's, I guess, updated just up to the clearinghouses. So that's where the idea that led to this version of the document. But we never rest, and there are a lot of other ideas that we want to add for the next release, for the next cycle. First, like I said, the work on trusted data transaction and standardization is an ongoing process. So the more there will be outcomes, the more we'll be updating and be aligned with the standard that is coming out. Then, later on that, there's this notion of data transaction that is not yet well defined. If you look at the conceptual model, you can see data access, data, you can see nowhere this notion of data transaction. So that will be one of the work to properly define the data transaction. Then there was these two chapters, the one on data, is data products catalog. There is a typo here. It's not yet started. And another one on data observability. That's a very important topic because you want to make sure that there are proper sovereign, trustworthy mechanism within GAIA-X to see what's going on during all the transactions. Okay, so that's the work that we started. We like, inside this working group, to work into sprints. We meet every Monday. That's the usual working group process. And then when we feel that we need to focus on a subject, we create a sprint, and only the people willing to work on that topic are gathered for a couple of hours outside, but still within the context of GAIA-X, but outside of this session. So we started, I don't know, one or 2 months ago, and tried to see what would come out of, it's going to be a long process. And what we saw is that there is a lot of topics that are linked to observability. It's not only something which is linked to data exchange, and I will speed up, but it's something that is ultimately very linked to participants. Data consumer, data provider, there are new participants, orchestrators, and so on, and there are no way to define them really. We really need to focus on that, and thanks to ICANN now there's this notion of party credential, and we can do that, but you have to, first of all, get these into ontologies. There is a specification not yet inside the ontology. That will be but that's up to you. And next will be to redefine these new roles. And this is difficult because sometimes these new roles will be defined as externalities, and that's where the subject of extension will be interesting. So just to speed up and to arrive to a conclusion, what we saw is that identity management and linked to that digital wallets and data transfer, agent or connector, participant agent, you call it whatever you want, are going to be extremely important. meaning that within the context of data exchange, we have to work on these topics, which are linked to other working groups, but also to people providing tools. And just as an illustration, and then we'll go quick, just an animation. If you look at the global ecosystem, there are key components if you want to build trusted data transaction. You've got data providers and consumers. Linked to that, there are wallets. Inside this, there are identities. Identity for people, natural person, and also legal people. And you have to make the link in between those two. And that's where particular credential comes from. And then you got the VC issuer, you got the transfer agent, and all the services which are managed at the database level. And everything is connected. You got to, of course, to use the GAIA-X trust framework and the services from the client. Sorry, it's not yet the proper wording. I will get the proper wording for Daniel. And of course, you got the wallet. You got all the link with all the services linked to participant management. You've got all the things linked to the agent, to the verification, to the transfer of claims, and so on and so forth. It means that everything is connected, and if we want to go further than what we are actually doing so far, we have to not only work in each different working group, but to work collectively. At the technical level, we have to work collectively in between working groups, technically the ICANN working group and the data exchange, but also at the policy level, because we have to exchange all this stuff, extend all these rules, for example, to have other way to define roles within the different domain. Okay? So that will be the conclusion for today, because I think I'm a bit too long. But yes, so we've done a lot of work on this iteration, but yet again, it's just one step. There's still a long road to get to where we want. The next step will be focused on observability, and it connects everything inside GAIA-X. Identity, identity, identity. Wallets, wallets, wallets. Transfer agent, transfer agent, transfer agent. We need all those to actually build trusted data transaction. And that will be my conclusion.